Hey guys, I'm Sofia Carson and you're watching Teen Vogue Firsts. I always wanted to do that. It's so crazy that I can do that now. My first Instagram post, so my sister actually opened my social media accounts for me after I got my first job, which was my guest starring role on Austin and Ally, and I never had social media before that. I was not cool. And I remember she gave me the passwords to Twitter and Instagram and said, "Welcome to the real world." And the passwords for both of them were dream big, which is just the sweetest thing. And my first post is a photo my mom took as I was walking onto the Disney lot for my first day on set. And when she texted me the photo, she said, "There she goes." And to this day, before any event, any performance, before I walked in today, she'll text me, "There she goes." So my first post was that photo. Just FYI, that's no longer my password. So I think my earliest Disney memory is me singing My Reflection by Mulan in my living room, or dressing up like Princess Belle every single year for Halloween, because that is who I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be Princess Belle because she had her nose in a book and didn't pay attention to Gaston, and she was like this empowered princess, and that's who I wanted to be. And then at Disney World, you know, Disney World was a few hours away from where I grew up and where I was born, so we would go every year. I remember walking through Main Street and it started to snow, and I was like, this is just the most magical place in the world. The first time I recorded a song, I was 11 years old. It was the first song I ever wrote. It was called Leave Me Alone. I was quite the dramatic child. The lyrics, I think, were "Leave me alone, don't bother me again." So I think I was already writing about breaking up with a guy, even though I had never dated a guy. The first time that I left the country, I was very lucky to be raised biculturally. I was born in the States, I was born in Florida, but my parents were from Colombia. So when I think I was 3, the first time that we traveled to Colombia for the holidays, it still is my favorite time of the year. The first time that I went to the Oscars was the year that Moonlight won Best Picture. First of all, I remember walking that carpet and feeling like I was literally walking on clouds. I remember the dress that I wore was this beautiful white Monique Lhuillier gown, and our look was inspired in Audrey Hepburn's Oscar look. Shortly after, my sister texted me that my face had become a meme, my reaction. Please don't look it up because it's really embarrassing. My first memory of singing, and we actually have a video of it, I'm 3 years old, in my living room, wearing a costume that I kind of would come up with and wear every time that I would perform in my living room. And it was a one-piece bathing suit with a bandana and heels. And I was singing the first song that I ever learned, which is Don't Cry For Me Argentina by Evita, the movie. So the Madonna version of Don't Cry For Me Argentina. It won't be easy, you'll think it's strange. Something like that. The first song that I remember falling in love with is Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. When I heard it, I was with my mom, and there was this incredible gentleman playing the song on the piano, and I remember hearing the melody, the bum 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 bum. I thought to myself, like, how could something this magical be real? Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. The first language that I learned after English is Spanish, which is my second language, and then at UCLA I minored in French, so that was the third language that I learned. Español es el segundo lenguaje que aprendí después de inglés. Estudié en UCLA y aprendí el francés, donc je parle un peu de français, et je t'aime beaucoup, Teen Vogue. My first big splurge, I remember perfectly, it was after the first Descendants, after I got my paycheck. I was at the mall and I saw this beautiful Alexander Wang Evie blue purse, which I've now coined the phrase Evie blue because it's a very specific blue, and this purse was that blue, and I bought it. I still have it, and I love that it reminds me of Evie. There are about 200 roles that I didn't get before I got the role that changed everything. And that's such a learning experience because, you know, it's so many doors that close in your face until you find the one that opens and you realize that the one that opened is the one that was meant for you all along. We all have flubs all the time, and I think it's so important to talk about that. I remember being on stage and flubbing once, and that was really scary. Yesterday I felt like a complete flub. I can't be as perfect as I would like to be, and knowing that perfect is just absolutely so terribly boring. One of the first things that my parents taught me, I always remember me and my sister always feeling like we could do and be anything. Like nothing was ever impossible, that we were completely fearless and unstoppable. And I remember the first time that I went on stage as a professional singer, singing my very first single for the first time on TV, I was so terrified, so scared. And I remembered that little girl who thought that she was fearless because her parents taught her to be, and I was like, okay, I can do this. When I hit 1 million followers on Instagram, these numbers are so big and so hard to wrap your head around until you meet one of those people. And that to me has been the most incredible experience, because when I saw 1 million, I was like, this is crazy. And my sister was like, someone's gonna tell them that you're not cool. You know, when you put a face to those numbers, that's what becomes really special to me. And I've had the privilege of being able to meet a lot of those girls and a lot of those boys and guys, and it's so crazy to be so supported and so loved. And I've always felt that I have this really serious and beautiful responsibility to the young girls that follow me. The first Disney show that I watched is Lizzie McGuire. And I was just recently in Rome, and I had to physically contain myself from not bursting into Lizzie McGuire movie quotes at all times. The first time that I went to the White House, I was with Cameron. Sorry.
No.
He would laugh at me right now.
I know.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do that one again. The first time that I went to the White House was in the last months of the Obama presidency, which was an honor. And I shot a PSA with Michelle, with our First Lady. So I'll always cherish that. My first Christmas memory is this picture that we have of me and my sister. We would wear matching outfits. My mom and my grandma put us in these matching Christmas dresses every single year. And we'd pose in front of my grandma's Christmas tree, and there's this photo of, it's like the epitome of me and my sister. It's me like cheesing so hard with my hands on my hips like this. And then my sister just like leaning forward like this, just like making a mess of the whole photo. She just made the photo magical is what she did, and it's one of my favorite memories. It's just very much her and I. First time meeting a super famous celebrity. If you could separate my life into 2 moments, before and after Oprah. So when I met Oprah, I can't believe I just said those words. Met is a strong phrase. Let me clarify the story. So I was at a fashion show in Paris, and I sit down, and right across from me there's a lot of mayhem going on, a lot of photographers taking a photo of someone. And I was like, oh, I wonder who that is. And then as the seas part and everything became slow motion, it was Oprah Winfrey. And my mom was next to me. I think I was kind of like, going like, Mom. And I could not tell you a single thing that happened in that fashion show, because I was just like eyes locked on Oprah. It was like this magnetic energy. And then when she stood up and the fashion show ended, we followed her, and then she turned around and she gave me a hug and gave my mom a hug, and it was just like magical. And I don't think I actually managed to say anything. Yeah, what are words? The first time that I took a political stand was for the 2018 elections. I just urged anyone and everyone to vote, because our vote is our voice. So who are we if we don't use our voice? And I feel like we are living through incredibly scary and exciting times where we have the power to determine our present and our future, and we owe it to, as women, the women who came before us, who gave us this right to vote, and all the women that will come after us. As the young generation and the youth, we have the power to define our present and the lives of all those that will come after us. The first time I attended Fashion Week was the day after my first Oscars, which was surreal. I flew to Paris, and I remember when I got off the plane, we got a text saying that Mr. Azzedine Alaïa would like to see you at his atelier. I had this incredible experience where I actually was fit by Mr. Alaïa, and I tried on all these gowns, and he styled me for my event that night, and it was one of those moments that I will never forget. This is an Alaïa with Mr. Alaïa.